Have you ever wondered how a single moment of intense pain can echo through the corridors of your mind, reshaping who you are? Imagine your brain as a living canvas savory experience. Every heartbreak, every moment of terror is a brushstroke that alters the picture of your identity. Today, we're diving deep into a story that is as much about the science of the mind as it is about the raw human experience of trauma. Understanding how trauma transforms our brain is not only crucial for healing, but also for unlocking the hidden potential that lies beyond our scars. Stay with me on this journey as we unravel the time-lapse of the mind and explore how trauma, both physically and psychologically, reshapes our personality over time. Let's start with a question. Have you ever noticed how the echo of a past hurt can color every moment of your life? Think back to a time when you felt utterly overwhelmed, when the world seemed to stop and your heart raced with unspoken fears. That moment, no matter how brief, might have set off a cascade of changes in your brain. But why is it that trauma leaves such a lasting imprint? Could it be that these experiences don't just pass through us like a storm, but actually rewire the very foundation of our personality? Imagine watching a time-lapse video of a city at night. The rapid movements of lights, the ever-changing skyline, the interplay of shadows and brightness all come together to form a story of transformation. Now, picture your brain in a similar way. Trauma acts like a powerful editing tool, subtly altering the connections between neurons, shifting chemical balances, and ultimately changing the way you perceive the world and yourself. It's not just a memory. It's a biological rewriting of who you are. Consider a person who has endured deep loss or abuse. Initially, the trauma may trigger an intense fight-or-flight response. Over time, however, repeated exposure to traumatic stress can cause the amygdala, brain's alarm system, to become hyper-reactive, while the prefrontal cortex, responsible for rational thought, might shrink or become less effective. This imbalance not only makes one more susceptible to anxiety and fear, but also molds the personality into someone who is guarded, perpetually on edge, or even numb to their surroundings. Now, I want you to think about your own experiences. Have you ever found yourself reacting in ways that seem out of proportion to the situation? Maybe you felt a lingering sadness or an inexplicable burst of anger in moments that should have been calm. These are not mere coincidences. They are the echoes of past trauma reverberating through your neural pathways. And here's where the plot thickens. Trauma isn't only about pain, it's about transformation. It can lead to unexpected strengths, as the struggle to survive pushes some individuals to develop incredible resilience and empathy. What if I told you that the very traits we sometimes perceive as weakness, hypervigilance, intense emotional responses are, in fact, the mind's desperate attempt to adapt and protect itself? Each emotional outburst, every moment of anxiety, can be seen as a small window into the underlying changes that trauma has etched into our biology. So, let's delve deeper. Reflect for a moment. Why do you think some people seem to carry an unspoken heaviness, a shadow of their past, even when life appears to be moving on? I'd love for you to share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Have you ever recognized the fingerprints of trauma in your own behavior or in someone close to you? Your story might help someone else understand that they are not alone in this complex journey. Before we continue, if you're finding this exploration into the depths of the human mind compelling, please take a moment to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Sharing this video with friends and family might just help someone recognize the silent struggles they've been facing. Let's build a community where we can learn and heal together. Let's break down the journey of trauma in the brain, a journey that is as intricate as it is profound. Picture your brain as a bustling metropolis with billions of neurons interacting like busy citizens. When a traumatic event occurs, it's as if a sudden blackout sweeps through the city. The usual order of things is disrupted. The emergency services, the brain's stress response systems, are activated in overdrive. Research shows that trauma can lead to structural changes in key areas of the brain. The amygdala, our internal alarm bell, may become enlarged, making us more prone to heightened fear responses. The hippocampus, which is vital for forming and retrieving memories, might shrink, leading to fragmented memories and difficulties in distinguishing between past and present. Meanwhile, the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain that manages decision-making and self-regulation, may become less active, leaving us with diminished capacity to regulate our emotions. To illustrate this, let me share the story of Alexa, a composite character whose experiences mirror the journey of many who have faced trauma. Alex grew up in an environment filled with unpredictability and fear. As a child, Alex learned to be hyper-alert, scanning every room for signs of danger. This hypervigilance, while initially a survival mechanism, gradually rewired Alex's brain. The amygdala became so sensitized that even minor triggers like a loud noise or a stern look could send Alex spiraling into anxiety. Meanwhile, the hippocampus struggled to create coherent memories of safety, and the prefrontal cortex found it increasingly challenging to override the instinctual responses driven by fear. Over time, Alex's personality began to shift. The constant state of alertness gave way to a reserved, cautious demeanor. Relationships became difficult to maintain, as trust was a luxury Alex could no longer afford. Yet, amid this struggle, there was also an unexpected evolution. The very challenges that once seemed to confine Alex eventually led to a deeper understanding of empathy and resilience. Through therapy, mindfulness, and self-reflection, Alex learned to harness these changes not by erasing the trauma, but by integrating its lessons into a new, more compassionate self. Scientific studies back up stories like Alex's. A study from the National Institute of Mental Health highlights that the brain's plasticity allows it to adapt even after severe trauma. Through targeted therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and mindfulness-based stress reduction, MBSR, individuals can foster new neural connections, essentially rewiring their brains towards healing. Techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, and even journaling serve as tools to calm the overactive amygdala, strengthen the prefrontal cortex, and gradually restore balance. So, what practical steps can we take if we recognize these patterns within ourselves? One effective method is the practice of mindful awareness, pausing to observe your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you feel that sudden rush of anxiety, try the 4 to 7 -8 breathing technique. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, and exhale for 8. This simple act can create a moment of calm, a small yet powerful pause in the relentless tide of stress. Another vital practice is journaling. Writing down your thoughts and emotions not only helps in processing them, but also in recognizing patterns over time. By putting pen to paper, you create a tangible record of your journey, a time-lapse of your healing process that you can look back on and learn from. As we explore these tools, think about your own experiences. Have you ever tried these techniques? How did they help you navigate moments of overwhelming stress or pain? Your insights are valuable. Share them below, and let's learn from one another. Now, let's confront a stark reality. If we leave trauma unaddressed, its impact can grow silently and insidiously. Imagine a small crack in a dam. Over time, without repair, that crack widens until the entire structure is compromised. Similarly, untreated trauma can lead to chronic stress, anxiety, depression, and even more severe mental health issues. The brain, overwhelmed by continuous stress, struggles to maintain equilibrium, often resulting in a cycle of self-doubt and isolation. Think about the long-term implications. Every unprocessed memory, every unresolved emotion accumulates like sediment in the river of your mind. Over the years, this sediment can change the course of your personality. Instead of growing with grace, the scars of trauma might confine you to patterns of avoidance, anger, or numbness. But here's the silver lining: recognition is the first step towards transformation. When we understand that trauma is not a permanent sentence, but a chapter in our story, we open the door to healing. The process may be long and arduous, but it is also filled with opportunities for profound personal growth. As the brain demonstrates remarkable resilience, every step taken towards healing, be it through therapy, support groups, or personal reflection, adds a new layer of strength to your character. In this light, even the deepest wounds become the source of potential power and empathy. Imagine if Alex, who once seemed trapped by a hyperactive fear response, had never embarked on a path to healing. The anger, the isolation, the mistrust would have continued to define every interaction, every decision. But by acknowledging and working through the trauma, Alex not only reshaped the neural pathways, but also transformed the narrative of their life. It became a story not of victimhood, but of survival and rebirth. I invite you to consider the costs of leaving trauma unhealed. How many opportunities for joy and connection are lost when the past holds too tight? And conversely, what might your life look like if you took even small steps towards understanding and healing those old wounds? The journey is personal and unique, yet the science tells us that change is possible. With each mindful breath, each moment of self-compassion, the brain slowly rewrites its story. Recent research from Cambridge University reveals that up to 70% of our daily decisions are influenced more by emotion than by logic. This underscores the importance of addressing the emotional roots of our behavior. When we learn to manage and heal our trauma, we reclaim control over those decisions. Not only do we mitigate the negative impact of past pain, but we also empower ourselves to make choices that align with our true values and aspirations. If you find this journey into the time-lapse of the mind both eye-opening and inspiring, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and share this video with those who might need a gentle reminder that healing is possible. Your support helps build a community dedicated to understanding and transforming trauma into strength. Today, we've traversed the intricate pathways of the brain, exploring how trauma imprints itself both physically and psychologically over time. We examined how moments of pain can rewire our neural circuits, altering everything from our fear responses to our capacity for love and trust. We heard the story of Alex, whose journey from darkness to resilience reminds us that even the most shattered parts of us can be rebuilt. As you leave here today, I encourage you to take a moment to reflect on your own life. What memories, painful or otherwise, have shaped your personality? Consider starting a small practice. Maybe it's journaling, meditation, or even a quiet walk in nature to connect with your inner self. Remember, every step toward understanding and healing is a step toward reclaiming your life. If you're curious about more techniques on how to mend these inner wounds, check out our next video on mindfulness and trauma-informed healing strategies. There, we'll explore practical methods that you can use every day to nurture your mind and body. Thank you for joining me on this deeply personal exploration of how trauma shapes personality. I hope you leave with a sense of hope and empowerment, knowing that while the scars of trauma may never fully vanish, they can become the very marks that testify to your strength, growth, and capacity for transformation. Until next time, take care of yourself, be kind to your mind, and remember that every moment is an opportunity to rewrite your story. Goodbye, and may you find light even in the darkest of times.